Ever feel like there's a whole other you hiding out somewhere deep down, just waiting to be discovered?
Like a secret superpower.
Yeah, exactly. And what if I told you that journaling is the key to unlocking that power?
That's what we're diving into today, this idea of journaling as self-discovery.
And to guide us on this little journey inward, we have this blog post called 50 Journal Prompts for Self-Discovery Listallion. Catchy title, right?
Definitely grabs your attention. And 50 prompts. That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's pretty ambitious. I mean,
Yeah.
where do you even begin with 50 prompts?
Luckily, this blog is really well structured. It's written by Clara Penrose, by the way, and it's broken down into these sections, almost like chapters in a book. So you're not just facing a blank page and 50 different directions to go.
Ooh, I like that. A roadmap for self-discovery. Tell me more. What's the lay of the land?
Well, the first stop on our journey is reflecting on your past, which sounds a little intimidating maybe, but it's not about getting stuck in the past.
Yeah, no dwelling on those cringe-worthy high school photos.
Exactly. It's more about understanding how those past experiences, even the awkward ones, shaped the amazing person you are today.
Okay, I can get behind that. So how do we actually do that? Digging up those formative moments?
Well, that's where the prompts come in.
Mm-hmm.
For example, one prompt, ask about a childhood dream you had. Remember those. But here's the cool part. It asks if your aspirations have changed since then, and, more importantly, why.
Interesting. So it's not just about reminiscing, it's about analyzing how our desires evolve as we do.
Exactly. Like, maybe little you wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh, 100%. I was obsessed with dolphins. Still am, actually.
See? But maybe now you're drawn to a different path. That shift from vet to dolphin enthusiast or whatever it is for you, that tells you something about how your values and motivations have changed over time.
Whoa, I never thought of it like that. It's like those connect the dots puzzles. Suddenly those seemingly random life events start to form a picture.
Exactly. And another prompt I love asks you to think about a time you felt truly proud. Not just, oh, I got a gold star, but a moment that really showed you what you're capable of.
Ooh, this is giving me confidence boost vibes.
Right. Instead of just letting those successes fade into the background, we're taking a moment to really own them. It's like saying, hey, I did that and it was awesome.
I love it. Celebrating those wins, big or small. Okay, so we've dusted off our past selves, given them a high five for their accomplishments. What's next on the self-discovery adventure?
Well, now that we have a better sense of what shaped us, it's time for a little understanding your present action.
So it's like a gut check. Does my day-to-day life actually align with the person I want to be based on what I've learned about myself so far?
You nailed it. And there's this one prompt that seems simple, but is actually quite powerful. It simply says, describe your ideal day.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so let's say my ideal day involves like sleeping in, eating pancakes, rescuing a puppy, the usual. What then?
Well, then you compare that ideal day to your reality and be honest with yourself. How much does your current daily life resemble that dream day?
Okay, that could be a little confronting, not gonna lie.
It can be, but it's also incredibly empowering. Because once you see those gaps, you can start to ask yourself, what small changes can I make to bridge the gap? Maybe you can't adopt a puppy right now.
Sadly, yes. My apartment has a strict no pets policy.
But maybe you can volunteer at an animal shelter on the weekends, or even just spend some time watching cute dog videos online. Little things that nudge you closer to that ideal.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this journaling thing works. It's not about magically transforming overnight. It's about those small, intentional shifts that, over time, can lead to big changes.
Precisely. And speaking of big changes, that brings us to the next exciting stage of our journey, envisioning your future. And this is where things get really fun.
It's like vision boarding, but with a pen and paper.
Exactly. It's about tapping into those big dreams, those what-ifs. But here's the thing. It's not just about daydreaming.
Oh no, I thought we were allowed to get a little carried away in this section.
Oh, absolutely. Let those dreams run wild. But then, this is where the prompts get really interesting. They encourage us to think strategically about those dreams.
Okay, so less, I'm going to be a rock star, and more, time to dust off the old guitar and maybe book some studio time. Got it.
You're catching on quickly. There's this one prompt that really drives it home. It asks, what skills are needed for your dream job? So let's say your dream is to be a world-renowned chef.
Oh, that's a good one. I can practically taste those Michelin stars already.
Right. But becoming a chef takes more than just a love of food. It takes culinary skills, knowledge of different cuisines, business savvy if you want to open your own restaurant.
Yeah.
The prompt forces you to break down that dream into actionable steps.
It's like creating a roadmap for your future self. But instead of cities and highways, it's those essential skills and experiences.
Exactly. And that kind of planning, that's where the real magic happens.
Yeah.
It's no longer just a fantasy, it's a plan in motion.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. But before I run off and enroll in culinary school, what's next?
Well, we've explored our past, checked in with our present, and even mapped out our future. Now it's time for the deep dive into exploring your inner world.
Ooh, this sounds intense.
It's definitely where things get a little more philosophical, but in a good way. It's about uncovering those core values and beliefs that drive everything else in your life.
So are we talking like, what's my purpose in life kind of stuff? Because, full disclosure, I still haven't figured that one out.
We ask the big questions, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not about having all the answers right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's about asking yourself those questions,
Mm-hmm.
sitting with them, and seeing what bubbles up in your journal. It's about understanding yourself on a deeper level.
I can see how that would be helpful. I mean, we spend so much time trying to figure out the world around us, it's easy to forget to look inward.
And that's where these prompts come in handy. They guide you on that inward journey.
Yeah.
For example, one prompt asks, how do you define success and happiness? Not based on what society says, but what truly resonates with you.
That's such a good point. We get so caught up in external validation, likes, promotions, the perfect Instagram feed, that we forget to check in with our own internal compass.
It's so easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
But this section, it's a good reminder to hit the pause button and reconnect with yourself, to define what truly matters to you.
It's like taking back control of your own narrative.
Exactly. And speaking of control, there's another prompt in this section that's all about facing our fears.
Oh, now we're getting to the good stuff. I have a few fears we could unpack here.
We all do. But the prompt isn't about letting those fears paralyze us. It's about identifying them, understanding where they stem from, and then, this is the key part, analyzing how they might be influencing our decisions.
So it's like holding those fears up to the light, seeing them for what they really are, and then deciding if we want to let them continue to hold us back.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming your power.
I love that. Okay, so we've dug deep, faced our fears, and maybe even redefined success along the way. What happens now? Do we just, like, carry on with all this newfound wisdom?
Not quite.
Uh-huh.
We've done a lot of inner work, but now it's time to put that work into action. And that's where our final section swoops in, setting intentions and making changes.
Okay, so less talk, more action.
Yeah.
It's giving New Year's resolution, but, like, actually sticking to it this time.
You got it. This section is all about bridging the gap between who we are now and who we aspire to be. And it does it in a really practical way. Like, there's a prompt about prioritizing mental health.
Which is so important, especially these days.
Right.
But it's also one of those things that's easy to say you'll do, and then, well, life happens.
Exactly. But this prompt pushes you to go beyond just saying self-care is important. It asks, how are you actually going to make space for it in your life?
So instead of just, like, lighting a candle and hoping for the best.
Right. It's about identifying concrete actions you can take. Maybe it's committing to a daily meditation practice, setting boundaries with work, or scheduling in regular time with friends who lift you up.
It's about turning those good intentions into tangible habits.
I love how you put that. And you know what else is interesting about this section?
What's that?
It's not just focused on individual growth. It also encourages us to think about our role in the community. There's a prompt that asks, how can you contribute to something bigger than yourself?
Oh, I like that a lot. It's a good reminder that self-discovery isn't just about navel-gazing. It's about using what we learn and grow to make a positive impact on the world around us.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that our growth has a ripple effect, that even small acts of kindness or generosity can create a wave of positivity.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, metaphorically speaking, explored the map of these prompts, and uncovered some pretty profound insights along the way.
We have. And, 50 prompts, that's a lot to digest.
It's like a journaling buffet. You don't have to try everything at once. So for our listeners who might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now, where do you even start with a list this extensive? Right? It's a lot to process. Where do you even start?
Well, I think the beauty of this list is you don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah.
You can kind of pick and choose the prompts that resonate with you most at any given time.
So it's like a choose-your-own-adventure journal.
Exactly. Maybe today you're feeling nostalgic, so you tackle the childhood dream prompt. But next week, you're feeling more introspective, so you dive into those core values.
I like that. It takes the pressure off. It's not about checking boxes, it's about listening to your intuition and seeing where it leads you.
And you can always revisit prompts later on down the line. Your answers might change as you evolve, which is pretty cool when you think about it.
Ooh, yeah, I love that idea. Like, imagine looking back at your journal entries a year from now and seeing how much you've grown.
Exactly. It's like a tangible record of your self-discovery journey.
Speaking of journaling journeys, that reminds me of this final thought from our outline. Imagine you stumbled upon your old journals years from now. What would you want your future self to learn from your present self? It's such a thought-provoking question.
It really is. It's like sending a message through time to your future self.
Mm-hmm.
What wisdom would you want to impart? What lessons have you learned that you don't ever want to forget?
It's almost like having a conversation with your future self, offering guidance and encouragement based on what you're going through right now.
I love that perspective because who knows what your future self will be facing. But your words, your reflections, they could provide the comfort or inspiration they need to navigate those challenges.
Wow, that's powerful. So it's not just about self-discovery in the present, it's about leaving behind a legacy of wisdom for our future selves to learn from.
Beautifully said.
Mm.
And what a beautiful note to end on.
Well, folks, there you have it, a deep dive into the world of self-discovery through journaling. We explored this awesome blog post, 50 Journal Prompts for Self-Discovery Listallium, unpacked those thought-provoking prompts.
And hopefully inspired you to grab your favorite notebook and start exploring your own inner world.
Because as we've learned today, self-discovery is a journey, not a destination.
And it's a journey best taken one journal entry at a time.
Couldn't agree more. So until next time, happy journaling, everyone.